Hello, Internet! I hope I have blown all your ears out because you don't want to hear the rest of this podcast. This is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9003 with your host, SneakyDevil. We got Max Force and Atin in here with us tonight, and we are gonna read us some fanfiction.
Free us from this hell.
So you know what? We're gonna start off the night with a big ol' blast. And do a Naruto DxD fic. And I can feel the suffering increase already.
Why do you hate mankind?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that one.
Is it because of what your mother did to you as a child? You can move past being diddled.
Nope, not moving past that. Anyway, so this is Hybrid's Game, a Naruto DxD fanfic. Of course, you can always click on the link in the Discord and follow along at your leisure or read it yourself for some godforsaken reason. But, of course, I would be remiss if I did not remind everyone to not contact the author in any shape, form, or fashion, as that is considered harassment by Twitch. And because, of course, of rules constantly changing, I am also required to remind everyone that we do not own any of the content featured on this podcast. Yes, that's pretty much it. So, this is Hybrid's Game. The Uzumaki clan has always been mysterious, especially since the end of the Great War. But something has been happening.
Yo, what's the haps, my man?
Okay. A plan has been unfolding. Period. And the ancient House of Lucifer will rise again. But there may just be a problem. And its name is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Harem Lemons Naruto Vampire Devil. Barracks says, fuck Naruto DxD crossovers that make Uzumakis these super duper powerful devils. Also, fuck fics that make Naruto a devil born at all. Yes, no, Isley, you're wrong. You're completely 100% incorrect. Those fics don't work at all because guess what? Where's the fuck is the crossover then? Did you just go down to the EA Cosmetics store and buy the Naruto skin for your DxD story?
I did. Well, actually, what I did was I bought it off the Unity Asset Store.
Yes. But seriously, Fusion Worlds are very delicate. I've gone into rants before about Fusion Worlds in terms of how hard it is. Well, no, you should try, but, you have to actually put a lot of thought and effort and time and really make big considerations, and you have to know both fandoms really well so you can properly mesh them, if they're even meshable in the first place, which is the first criteria of a Fusion World, is that you have two fandoms that can actually mesh together. The problem with doing a Fusion World when it comes to Naruto in general is that Naruto takes place on a supercontinent, which makes it very hard to Fusion World with it, as a supercontinent is, well, a supercontinent, and not exactly something that can be easily hidden. Now, I have seen stories try and excuse the supercontinent by having it actually just be a really small island off the coast of Japan, hidden by seal stones that keep it from being seen, ? Which, I mean, as far as excuses go for why Naruto can be crossed over or fusioned with something, I'll tolerate that one, Like that's like the least offensive of the ones I've seen. But definitely 100% Naruto being born as a devil, or Naruto was a devil all along, or the Uzumakis are secretly a devil clan or some shit. That's just fucking retarded. It's just so uninteresting. And the reason, I always like to compare fanfiction stories to campfire stories. You're not gonna want to hear a campfire story. Like, you don't all get around a campfire and you're like, all right, what's your campfire story? And you're like, okay. So my story is about a guy who has a massive fucking penis, and he just fucks a bunch of women, and he's got like laser hands, and he beats all the bad guys and stuff because he's awesome and amazing. Like, what's the story? What part do we actually get to the story instead of you just fucking whatever the fuck that's supposed to be? Uzumaki is secretly an isekai clan, which is why they're all AWOL. Yo, Sneaky, it's happening. Check the news channel. Oh, fucking no. Max, is it happening?
What? I literally just told you.
You should have known not to listen to those idiots.
I literally just told you not to.
I'm not even gonna veto this. Super Potato says, I want to see where this goes.
Oh, yeah, Potato said that a bit ago.
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking at the chat. There's a couple DxD fics where Isai is born as a devil and it's not terrible. Well, Isai born as a devil isn't terrible because you really don't have any information on Isai's parentage. And supposedly, some bit of information they added at some point in time in the light novel was that to even get a sacred gear, you need to be like related to the heroes of past or some shit like that. Or you need to, there's some sort of prerequisite of family lineage to even get a sacred gear in the first place. But it's like so far back in your lineage that basically almost a majority of people can get sacred gears. Because it's sort of like how 1/3 of Europe has the same William the Conqueror or some shit, I think it was. Yeah. 1/3 of Europe is related to William the Conqueror, and like 2/3 of Asia is related to Genghis Khan. Sort of shit like that.
Was dicking a lot of people.
He did. Willingly and not willingly.
Supposedly, most of them were fairly open to the idea, which at the time makes perfect sense. The strongest dude in the world is like, I'm gonna add you to my list of people that I keep safe. Okay.
But as far as Naruto DxD crossovers, you already have the whole dimensional gap thing. Like, dimensions are a thing. You can use dimensions to travel in DxD. That is like almost familiar of zero levels of openness and just, look, you can just have them get yeeted in here. It's already a known phenomena in this universe. It's not hard to do this crossover. If you're really sitting here going, but I want Naruto to be born as a devil and raised as a devil, except he's still Naruto, but even though he has his parents still, and it lives in a completely different environment, with a completely different set of goals, and completely different powers, and a completely different history, it's definitely still Naruto, guys. So, it's so dumb, you know? So fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, enough ranting about it. Let's jump on in, because
what if we jumped on out of the stream, out of the show? What if we never did this again?
Theoretically, we could definitely do that. However,
in fact, I would argue we have a moral obligation to do that.
You could certainly say we have a moral obligation to do that. However, Max can attest, I've always been bad at morals.
I'd like to offer moral support, but I have terrible morals.
Here is the second Naruto DxD fic I've ever written. Originally, it was 3 separate fics, which I combined into one. Oh god.
I really hope that was 3 separate arcs.
No. Fics. Which I combined into
No,
one.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope it was, like, 3 stories that became arcs, right?
Maybe. As I like to say, one idea will get you far if you do it right, but having 3 separate ideas inside one makes it a hell of a lot easier.
No, it doesn't.
A, that's a stupid fucking saying. B, that's a stupid fucking saying.
C, that's a terrible writing idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, writing is actually easier the more you complicate it. What? This will be different from the first Onikage, as Naruto will already be in the DxD verse instead of coming from the Naruto verse. Well, that defeats the purpose of making it a crossover, doesn't it? If the character doesn't cross over, then it's not a crossover. Wow, Twitch censors words. What a surprise, Isley. I'm completely shocked they do that.
What words got censored?
Fuhrer.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, Isley, it's not like they had a problem with actual horrible anti-Semites on the platform.
You know what? I'm actually really disappointed now because I had the ability to buy oil stock, and I didn't think people were gonna be retarded, and that is my bad.
Come on,
I apologize. I could have made some crazy mad money, and I fucked it up again.
Yeah, but that one's your own darn fault.
Yeah.
You had like faith in people.
Well, no, I didn't have faith in people. I just thought they would be acting in their own self-interest.
Never think that.
$5 gas? When was gas ever $5? I say, having lived in states that produce large amounts of gasoline.
I mean, look, it never got to $5 in Illinois.
In 2007, it was $5 in most states. Yeah, well, I didn't live in those states because I dabbed on those states.
Oh, fuck you too.
I probably wasn't paying attention to gas prices at that point in time, but I don't remember that.
No, that was a thing that did happen. Most people didn't see it because they didn't drive at the time.
I think the highest I've ever seen gas prices get to is $3.20 for regular. Anyway, first things first, I will now be telling you guys the harem. It will be a medium-sized harem. As apparently that's a okay. There are 10
what
spots.
The hell constitutes a medium size?
10,
like,
apparently.
That's what you consider medium?
I guess. Only 4 of them will, however, be main characters. That means that there will be an alpha girl, and then the 3 others who are strong-willed devils, or etc. Then there will be 6 seats. What, is this a fucking parliament now? Congratulations, you've been voted into Naruto's harem. Please represent your district with strength.
Seems like it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, minor girls are ones that Naruto has affection for and cares about, but probably won't ever marry. They'll receive less screen time too. Send in your votes for the girls. However, there are a few no-nos. The following girls may be paired in a romantic way to Naruto, but don't ever expect limes. Akeno,
Don't
Kaneko,
expect lines. Jesus Christ.
Akeno, Koneko, Zenobia, Tsubaki, Momo, Serafal, Ravel, and these following girls will never be paired with Naruto ever, period. Asia, Orphis, Graphia, Jean.
Hey, what did Master Asia do to you, huh?
Other than the following ones I have listed, please just tell me any suggestion you have. This story will not be similar to Onikage in one way, as in girls will not suddenly grow interest in Naruto for no reason. Raineri excluded. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Also, I like how he's like, alright, so all these main girl characters, I'm just going to disclude from the harem, but please feel free to tell me who should be in the harem. Oh. Barracks has just pointed out that the author spelled it Orpheus and not Ophis.
Hey, listen, if they want to throw in Greek mythology, why not at this point?
And don't just give me ideas for girls, you perverts. You should also give me ideas for the plot. Give me ideas for the plot, he says, having just earlier exclaimed how awesome it is having 3 ideas put together so he can have a coherent plot. Except also give me ideas for plot, because apparently the 3 ideas I originally combined to make this story aren't gonna do it? Question mark. Orph is gonna be in the harem, yep. Orph is guaranteed a non-harem status. However, Ophis is on the table. A blah blah. Certain people, if you can't tell me good things about my story, don't review it. I will report you if you review my work.
That is not how that works, sir.
Does Orpheus make a good trap? No, he's a fat hairy man. He does not make a good trap.
And how would you know?
Because I just made it up.
Ah.
Lucifer was not considered to be an overly ambitious man for most of his life, tending to be childish and insulting even to his fellow great devils. That had all changed, though. These days, it would be hard to find a more ambitious devil, highborn or otherwise, but with all power and ambition, there came times when he wondered if it was all worth it. But okay, author, I'm gonna give you a little insight into the people that typically seek power and ambition. They never sit back and go, is it really worth gaining more power and ambition? None of them do that.
The only people that go,
none of them
I'm
do
so
that.
tired of all this power, are the people that didn't.
Fucking Marcus Aurelius. What a badass. Did they just misspell the name of the character for the first word of the fanfic? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yep. So you know you're off to a great start when they've already fucked up the name of the character we're apparently focusing on. As the first word. Anyway. Blah blah blah. World planning was useless and the world was crumbling. Blah blah blah. He felt insignificant. Majestic halls, blah blah. He's okay. He's just switching between spelling it correctly and incorrectly. All right. Okie dokie. Did stream die?
Stream did not die, although my audio did for a little bit.
I have 0 dropped frames and my bit rate is stable, so I can't say it has. Anyway, so how could he strangle someone if they could kill him with a flick of her wrist? There she was in front of him, and he cleared his throat to speak, but that she beat him to it. I am not in the mood, Vim Kun. Okay.
Did he just take that straight from the bottle?
I can only assume that's what that sound was. Speaking of sound,
Okay.
the hills are alive with the sound of music.
Now that I have taken my shot of paint thinner, let's keep going. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's strong. Her voice was sweet, but low for a woman.
Calls it paint thinner. Complains that it's strong.
I mean, that's what Tito's basically is. Let's be real here. But low for a woman of her size.
What? Actually, I don't want to know what they mean.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep moving. She didn't.
There are questions that we don't need an answer to. Ever.
The fuck is this r/men writing women shit? Yeah, yeah. She didn't even bother to look up at him, instead preferring...
There's a reason I don't try writing women, because I know I'll be terrible at it, because I rarely interact with them.
Instead, preferring to scribble over a large scroll that was draped over a table. Over a table, so just a random table, no real consequence. She was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna scribble all over this scroll here that's just laying on this table. Do. Oh, wait, was that scroll important, author? Oh, I didn't know that, because you decided to just vegify it and be purple prosy with it. Duh, sorry. I need at least 3 more shots of vodka before I can... yeah. Kushina, we need to talk. Her red lips tightened as she finished whatever notes she was taking. She sighed and put down her pencil. You use a pencil to write on a scroll?
I mean, if that's true, you're really bad at your job.
Okay. Alright. Fine. Standing straight! As opposed to standing crooked? You mean she stood up? Oh. Okay, author, that's why we have the word stood up instead of standing straight. Kushina was tall, with dark red hair which fell
Really?
around her.
And here I thought she was a friggin' midget.
With dark red hair, which fell around her in a crimson curtain. It easily brushed the floor if it was unstyled. At the moment, however, it was released in all its glory. What? So, is it brushing the floor or not? Because if it's released, that means it's not in a hairstyle, right? Or is she like Gokuing her hair?
As far as I know. But let me rephrase that. That's what it means to normal people. I have no idea what it means to this idiot of an author.
She just Gokus her hair constantly. We already going in with Chaos Brigade? Yep. Yeah, we are. Yep. A sigh escaped her lips as she pulled her small hands through her hair. Okay. Managing to make the movement far more elegant than he could. Okay. Kushina's piercing blue eyes flashed with irritation while she crossed her arms under her considerable bust.
This has gone beyond r/men writing women to r/I need to get laid.
We are entering r/incel territory.
That is a subreddit, right?
Yes. Raisavium used all his considerable force of will to not look at her bare breasts. His cousin wasn't a fan of clothes and often went nude when in her own private chambers, but that wouldn't stop her from tearing an arm or leg off if she caught him looking, since she was vehemently anti-perverted.
She says wandering around naked?
Well, you know what? I will give the author credit on this one. He has certainly mastered the art of women saying one thing and doing another.
I'm not touching that.
Also, I'm going to Google the definition of pervert here. Yes, okay. Okay.
See nose hair.
Okay. Perversion is a type of human behavior that deviates from that which is understood to be orthodox or normal.
Come on, Sneaky. While I understand where you're going here, you can't get away with using the catch-all explanation anymore, because it's also come to mean something entirely different.
Yeah, which is why I absolutely despise colloquialism sometimes.
I mean, I agree with you, but the fact is it's been colloquialized.
A person who practices sexual perversion. Okay, what's perversion then? The act of perverting, the state of being perverted. Okay, what's perverted then? Someone who practices sexual perversion. Interesting. So the state of perversion is being perverted,
use the word in the definition
and
of
being
the word.
perverted is the state of perversion. Congratulations, Internet. We have entered full recursive definition territory. Any various means of obtaining sexual gratification that are generally regarded as being abnormal. Okay.
Okay, that's an actual definition.
Yeah, and it is, to be fair, used correctly. If you are, say, peeping on the changing rooms of women
Anyone.
at a school, yes, that is perverted. That is an abnormal way of obtaining sexual gratification. Hiding yourself in an area that can't be seen so you can watch women undress themselves. That is a little bit weird.
I'm gonna be honest with you, a little bit weird.
So, she was vehemently anti-pervert, but she goes around baring her naked breasts, but also dislikes it when people look at them, but also refuses to put on clothes.
Are clothes the patriarchy?
Yes. So all I'm saying is that if you are in a space where you are normally expected to be wearing clothes, now, it's one thing again, if, say, she goes in the nude in her bedroom, but she locks the door. She can expect a level of privacy, she can expect people to not enter her room. If they then do that and start just checking her out, I'll let the pervert accusation slide there,
Heck, even if she's just like, I am usually naked in my room.
But if she's like, I'm gonna go walk around and or be in areas that other people have access to, but also be naked, but also get mad at people when they look at me while I'm naked. Just saying. Just saying. If it's so important, say it already, she growled low in her throat, startling him into action. Are you expected to be clothed in your house? Honestly, it really depends on the state law.
I would say, fun fact about Vermont, you can go outside. If you leave your house naked, that's allowed.
Yep.
But you can't leave your house and then get naked.
Yeah, it's really weird, but it's hilarious at the same time. The Chaos Brigade members, under Orphis direct leadership, have captured another member of the yokai people. He of the four-tailed foxes. Considerable power. I want it to incorporate. His voice was cut off mid-speech as his cousin forced her delicate hand through his armor and into his chest cavity, her slender fingers clutching around his heart. Okay. Her voice was cold and furious. I warned you already. You will address my son with the respect he is due, or I will rip your heart out and eat it.
That seems like a solid family relationship.
Okay, I mean, yes, A, but I'm B, exceedingly confused here. At what point was it established that this four-tailed fox that Vim, my boy here, was like, oh yeah, so they captured some four-tailed fox and I want to incorporate it into the army, and Kushina's just like, you'll treat my son with the respect he deserves, and it's like, is Vim supposed to know that it's your son?
How was he supposed to acquire this knowledge?
And yes, Super Potatoes, you can indeed walk outside butt naked to check your mail in the freezing Vermont weather. There is a reason why they say you must leave your house naked to allow it. There's a very low amount of takers. But again, no establishment of the fact that this fork-tailed fox is apparently her son, but apparently Vim is supposed to know this. But, like, totally didn't see this coming, even though she's apparently warned him before about this. And he's just like, oh man, she's fucking a psycho. She's crazy. She'll rip my arm off if I look at her breasts. And she's already said she'll kill me if I disrespect her son. Let me just disrespect her son right in front of her. Just wait. Just like, I'm not dumb enough to stare at her breasts. Otherwise, she'll rip my arm off. But also, at the same time, let me just shit talk her son. Quote, unquote, question mark. I'm not saying he has to be a super genius. All I'm saying is some consistency in behavior here. Either he's afraid of Kushina and what she might do to him with his body parts, or he's not afraid of Kushina and is willing to press her and poke the beast. But he is apparently both. He is not willing to fuck with Kushina, but also simultaneously willing to fuck with Kushina. He is Schrodinger's fuckwit.
That seems like a poor position to be in.
Indeed. She hissed at him, showing razor-sharp fangs. Remember who inherited the power of Lucifer. You are a weak and spoiled child with only a fraction of my strength. And then she ripped her hand out and burned away the blood, leaving her spotless. Her attack was not meant to injure him, only punish him.
Okay. That's a phrase.
Okay. He then gasped again when Kushina bitch-slapped him, sending a loud snap throughout the room. My son is already powerful enough without your tampering. He doesn't require any more chakra abilities or yokai magic. Now, unless you are going in to see him, then get out of my sight, you pathetic excuse for a devil lord.
This is just...
He was used to the harsh treatment. It wasn't if his power wasn't great enough to ignore the damage, because only her magic could harm him. No amount of physical strength would kill one as strong as he was. Okay, so basically what the author's trying to do here is the author's trying to say that Vim, my boy, is super strank, but because Kushina is even stranker, she's so strank she's stonk, that only she can injure him because of how stonk she is. So basically, he's powering up the main point of view, which is Vim, so he can then, by proxy, power up Kushina, so he doesn't just have to come out and say Kushina super strength. He can just say Vim super strength, but Kushina stronger than him. Anyway, so he goes, I will see the boy and then leave, he says, hesitantly. Sometimes she wouldn't allow him to do this, even when she said he could. After all, she was extremely protective of him. The brat was damn near indestructible. His father had seen to that. Kushina,
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
It means stuff.
Kushina snarled at him, but quickly reined in her bloodthirst, because apparently she's also a vampire. Vim once again reminded himself...
This could be an idiot who doesn't understand the difference between bloodlust and bloodthirst.
Well, Vim once again reminded himself that he shouldn't anger Kushina ever. It was just so hard to not insult her, though. He enjoyed bantering with people, but his cousin, along with her whole family, were dangerous to joke with because they took it all super seriously and would kill him at the drop of a hat because of how strong they all were.
Then maybe you should just not. You dig of...
Makes me just that much more glad that he's taking after his father, even if he is a half-breed bastard. Although he seems to be picking up some bad habits from his perverted godfather, Jiraiya the Sage. Guess that's unavoidable, though. Okay. So basically, all of the Naruto characters that are relevant to Naruto the character are here in the DxD verse, but they also are all half-breed devil yokai, but also they aren't, but also they're all hyper strong, but also that's never affected DxD lore at all because they weren't in the war because reasons. And now that the war is over, they're here. And everyone's super terrified of them because of how strong they were during the war. Yeah, I think I got it right. Nailed it.
That checks out. Wait, no, it doesn't.
Kushina is what everyone calls a perfect devil. She is not only literally the strongest devil to ever exist, she also embodies the teachings and views of devils. She was 6,000 years old, and just literally the strongest thing to exist, literally ever. And the reason why she was so strong was because she has the contract with the original Lucifer. The very first Lucifer that had claimed that his power would be passed down through his family, but it would gather unequally among his children. Only those who were found to be worthy could gain his power, because that's how genetics work. Thus, even though he could trace his lineage directly...
I mean, you could argue magic genetics might work that way, but
it doesn't, because canonically in D times D we actually already have the lore for how genetics work with devils, and the answer is it doesn't. But on top of it not working with devils, it does, because apparently all of the devils who are noble class are all studying eugenics, and I'm not even joking about that. They all study eugenics, but apparently no one understands how genetics work, even though they were all older than the study of genetics. Not a single one of them ever bothered to learn genetics, but they all did bother to learn eugenics without ever understanding what a gene was. Yeah, it just, simple things. But anyway, in fact, she had so much power, she had 10 times more power than he had. he calculated that he inherited 3% of his predecessor's power. She has 30% of the original Lucifer's power. He wasn't necessarily angry about that, but he was definitely jealous. But it caused problems. For instance, she married a half-human, half-vampire hybrid named Minato Namekaze,
I see.
and had a mixed-blood son who was half-devil, 1/4 human, and 1/4 vampire. He was also from the House of Vosk, which is a branch of the Vladi family,
I don't care anymore.
which apparently means something. As if being a half vampire wasn't bad enough, but the fact that the kid had any human blood at all disgusted him. However, he had his uses, and more importantly, he had his sacred gear, the mightiest non-Longius ever encountered, called Demon Eye Maelstrom Absorption. Yep. Okay. Curse that boy's luck. It's as if heaven itself bestowed its greatest miracles upon him to give him such power. Naruto had inherited the highest concentration of Lucifer's power ever seen. He was the literal heir to the throne, above Surzex and the rest of his traitor family. Above everyone. Vim frowned and turned the door handle, entering the large chamber. Shit. Kushina came running. What is it? She demanded. Kushina and Vim stood in the doorway and looked. ... Line break. Point of view skip. Time movement. Rias time. And now we're talking about Rias. And she's Rias doing Rias things. I see. And a teacher named Uruka. Yes. Was just standing there, and going like, class, it's time for me to introduce this new student. He's from America. I hope you can all get along with him.
He's been drafted. Never mind.
The young man, whose mischievous blue eyes were shining from underneath his hair, bowed slightly to the class. Hey everyone, my name is Naruto Uzumaki Namekaze. I hope you'll all
It's an awkward spot to put that.
okay.
I
Be
second that.
willing to be my friends in the near future. He finished on a low note, which sent shivers up spines. What? He finished on a low note. The low note being, "I hope you will all be my friends."
That's a fairly positive note, it would seem to me.
What?
Hoping for friendship. As opposed to going, I'm gonna creep in the locker room, y'all.
His voice was rich and purring. Somebody read 50 Shades of Grey. It almost seemed to resonate around the room. No, it did resonate around them. It was deep and commanding. His confident smile showed long, sharp canines and shining white teeth. He had black marks on each cheek that looked like whiskers. They lent him a roguish appearance which was already reinforced by his elegant bow. Rias heard whispers burst like overfull balloons.
What?
What? Wait. Is he saying the whispers like spiked? I don't understand what's going on. Naruto, even one or two of the boys became gay. Okay.
That is not how that works.
Naruto straightened and glanced to the teacher. "Where would you like me to sit, sensei?" he asked with a slight smirk.
A
Sorry.
smirk? Why is he smirking?
I don't know. Rias glanced around as half
I've asked a perfectly normal question. I'm smirking.
As half of the class sighed dreamily. She didn't really know what to make of it, but one thing was for sure. Kiba was going to have to fight for his Pretty Boy title now, because Pretty Boy 2 had arrived, and boy was he a fine piece of eye candy.
Hey, Sneaky, can you mute the podcast for a bit? Yeah,
All right.
mute.
Okay, so let us just keep on going. She had to admit he was the best looking boy she'd seen this side of the underworld. She was sure that if she was human, she would just be like all of the other fangirls, swooning over his beauty. Riest turned to look at Akeno, who was smiling at Naruto, obviously disrobing him with her eyes. Akeno, really. She supposed she couldn't blame her queen for admiring his looks, as long as she didn't try and get him to join the peerage. She didn't have room for just anyone. He literally has fangs, you retarded bitch. Fangs. He has fangs. How many humans have fangs? Answer, none of them. Well, Naruto, you can take that seat there next to Tsubaki. Tsubaki, would you raise your hand? And then he sat next to Tsubaki. She can also show you around. Now everyone open your algebra textbook to page 76. Unbeknownst to her, Naruto's blue eyes turned in her direction. Naruto watched the girl with the crimson hair out of the corner of his eye. She was beautiful. He'd never seen many girls before, even though his godfather had been very informative on the subject. The only girls he was really acquainted with were his few relatives and his mother. And the maids, but maids don't count. He could feel that she was a devil, and he could easily sense that there were at least 3 others in the room. The girl Tsubaki was certainly one of them, and so was the alluring, dark-haired one sitting a few seats behind him. And there was something off about her besides being a devil. He wasn't sure what, but he would definitely find out. Blah, 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 I'm gonna go have some fun, and lol, pranked them, get wrecked. Blah blah. He definitely has to tone his abilities down, because if he just aced all of the math that ever existed and went beyond human limitations, then he would out himself as a non-human. Let's see. I want to go seduce some girls. That sounds like a challenge. And he channeled vampire energy into his nose so he could smell the girls in the room. I'm not even making this up.
I know. Sure.
And so then he pulls his power around himself tighter. No point in trying to hunt the girls if he reveals himself as a supernatural being. And so the fun begins. Time skip, place skip, point of view skip. Kushina was shook. Panic attack. We have to get him back. And then she smashed him into a wall. And how do you want to do that? He's gone and I can't find him. Why did you punch me? The others are going to throw a fit. She used the magic circle to summon one of her servants, and then told the servant, "Find my son. If you need help, get others. If you can't find him, check the human realm. As for you, Vim, you need to learn my son doesn't belong to you. He is a free devil." What, are we fucking channeling Harry Potter here now? Dobby is a free elf. Your group is fortunate that he didn't leave sooner. It wasn't a bad thing for her son to be out in the world. Maybe he would find a mate? I honestly cringe so fucking hard every single time I see in fanfic someone refer to a significant other as a mate. It is so cringy for me. Do you guys feel that at all?
Oh god, it's disturbing.
Max, how about you? You're sniffing pretty heavily. Are you feeling it?
What am I supposed to be feeling?
I don't know. I don't know. What are you feeling? How do you feel about your mates in fan fiction?
No.
Cool story. All
Oh,
right.
so you also think it's just creepy and disturbing and wrong?
So Naruto is now stalking the devils of the school and sniffing them. Anyway, so he's sniffing them, and he's like, "I'm totally stealthy," and he's like, "Wow, whoa, the devils here aren't absolute assholes to the humans, and the humans therefore like them. This is a wild discovery. I am laughing at my uncle now."
Wait, you mean it's possible to not be a jackass? What?
Apparently, when you're not a complete asshole, people like you. I mean, this isn't a recent discovery for me. I've known that for a long time. I just don't really care. Sona grumbled about a certain pawn who was a pain in her ass. Saji was just so immature and a pervert. If it wasn't for his honor, he would be in the perverted quartet instead of the perverted trio. And she'd still have to deal with his eccentricities. Behind her, Tsubaki walked at attention. Her queen had just finished showing the new student around the school and explaining how everything worked. He'd taken it all in and then been gone like smoke on the breeze. Tsubaki gave her the impression that this was a rather impressive feat. Vanishing from a devil's nose was no small feat, and it matched his personality. From what Tsubaki said, Naruto was a free-spirited, fun-loving person who is driven by his desires. He was very intelligent, and if Tsubaki was to be believed, very powerful. Her queen hadn't been able to pinpoint it, but clearly Naruto was very strong, and she just felt that way. And then Sona got absolutely pranked by Naruto, and Naruto's like, "Lol, bitches get pranked," and all the people are getting pranked, and everyone's like, "Whoa, we're all getting pranked," and he's laughing so hard at pranking everyone, and everyone was absolutely livid. And anyway, so yeah, Naruto's just running around pranking everyone, and he's laughing a lot about it. Yeah, and he's dreaming about sucking a girl off with his fangs. But blah 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 blah. Sona appears and is like, "You are smart, Naruto," and Naruto's like, "Yes." And then Saji was like, "Wow, are those implanted fangs?" And Naruto was like, "Ha ha ha, I'm not actually used to being around kids. They're a mutation. I was born with them. Lots of people are freaked out by it." He was a great liar. Not against devils, though. "That's interesting," Sona says. "It must be hard to eat with those in the way." "I know, it sucks." And everyone looked at him, shock face. And he just made a vampire joke. And everyone was like, wow, I wonder if he knows he made a vampire joke. And Naruto's like, oops, she might be on to me because of my vampire joke. And all the pranks I pulled.
I'm not sure what pranks have to do with it.
I don't know what pranks have to do with this either. The more this fanfiction goes on, the less I understand what's going on. More or less Super Potatoes. More or less. And Rainiere is like, oh man, I smell a human, but also super powered human, and she really wants him. And she's chasing after Naruto, and then she's like, wait a second, where am I? And she just really wants to fuck him really hard now, and she's just, dreaming about his dick. I'm not even kidding. This is like the shit the author's writing. It's just like Rainiere sees Naruto, and she just can't help but lust after his dick for no apparent reason.
I see.
And the reason why she's lusting after Naruto's dick is apparently because in this fiction, Rainiere's patron saint is the sin of lust.
Not how that works.
And she was weak to handsome men, and she was getting really hot under the collar because this guy was really handsome and she just really wanted to fuck him. Crow got your tongue fallen? Oh my god, shit, he knew that I was a fallen. I don't know what you're talking about. Now, don't lie to me, fallen. I followed you and I smelled you. Jesus fucking... It's so creepy. I smelled you.
I can smell ya, boy. That's what that is.
When did I get so weak? Or is he just that strong? Why can't I notice how strong he is? Who are you? Blah, 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 blah. Rainiere shifted a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Did he just read my mind? I bet you thought I just read your mind right now. But actually, the next words you're gonna say are, what do you want? What do you want? She asked hesitantly. Oh, well, I want a few things. First, tell me everything. Give me shit. Also, I'm gonna fuck you. And Rainiere is like, oh my god, you're gonna fuck me. And then she lets him fuck him. Or her. And then, he starts drinking her blood.
Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer's gonna show up if you keep doing that.
And, she's just like in absolute ecstasy right now and can't even think about not betraying her allies because Naruto's dick is just so amazing. And, she spills all the plans to him because she just loves him so much right now. Okay, and then Naruto's like, okay, Rainiere, you're just gonna become my servant and do everything I want you to do. And then, if you do that, I'll make sure you don't die to your boss. And then she abruptly realized that all the pleasure drained out of her. He pulled back and released her. Bewildered, she sat up, clutching at her neck. I withdrew my power from you and stopped pleasuring you with my power. The fuck? I asked you some questions. You must answer me now. Why? Because I really like you and I want to break you and I think you're hot and shit. And she goes, okay. I guess you're being honest with me. And he goes, yeah, I'm being honest with you. I want to drink your blood and fuck you. And she goes, wow, someone who's honest with me. I guess I'll just totally switch sides now because that was really enjoyable. And she goes, can I know the name of my new master? Naruto. Naruto what? Before you know my true nature, I need you I need more than just you asking a leading question. I need something that guarantees your service. What is that? I don't know how vampires do this thing. If I did it the vamp way, I'd just drink you until your soul ties to me. Then I would inject my soul into yours, and then I would just like dominate your mind and shit. But that isn't fun to do. I want a servant who I can fuck and use to help me. So we're going to blah 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 blah. I'm gonna use the devil method, the old devil method. And this is the old way devils used to enslave people, except my father changed it. You see, now the way I'm using, instead of killing you, it just paralyzes you. Yeah, blah blah. Blah 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 ritual blah blah. He rips all her clothes off. Blah blah. You're about to orgasm super hard right now because this is going to be the best thing you're ever gonna have. I'm gonna use a bunch of different energies now. And then Rainiere cries out, and he goes, "Hey, you all right?" And she goes, "Do I look all right?" And he goes, "Well, I mean, you're pretty hot, and you're naked on the ground in front of me after orgasming, so I really don't know the answer to that question." Which, I mean, is a fair enough answer to that. Blah blah blah. Naruto then proceeds to explain the Pokemon chain of elements.
The Pokemon chain of elements.
Yeah. Angels are weak to
you're not wrong.
Angels are weak to vampires and devils. Devils are weak to angels and fallen. Vampires are weak to devils. Yokai is weak to angels. Fallen are weak to yokai, and all of them are weak to dragons. Because dragons is effective against dragon and not effective against anything else, but also effective against everything else. But anyway, so Yoki energy interacts with the nervous system of a fallen, causing them to have immense pain or debilitating pleasure. And I can do this at the drop of the hat, depending on what chakra part of the Yoki I use. My father invented an entirely new system of magic called Jutsu, and only he can use it, and also I learned how to do it. My name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, sorry, not Namikaze, you know, his actual name, Namekaze. Vosk. But Namekaze, that's the name of the human clan that uses real sorcery. They use true magic, Satin.
But why?
Because this wasn't enough of a fuckery anyway. Let's make it worse, I guess. I don't know. Yes, okay. Enlighten me. Let me enlighten you now on what Uzumaki means. You see, Uzumaki is actually the human name for the Devil House of Lucifer.
Go on, reach for the bottle, you pathetic alcoholic.
Fuck you.
He says, reaching for the bottle.
Yeah. And like you wouldn't?
Yeah, I don't, because I have never bought it. I have the option to buy alcohol, but I choose not to, so yes.
Yeah, but if you had bought alcohol, you would definitely be drinking it right now.
But that's what I'm saying. I have the option to reach for it. I just don't.
Anyway, so blah blah blah. I'm super amazing. Blah 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 blah. Genocide, kidding, blah blah. Adventure and harems, blah blah. What do I do now? And then he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna drink all your blood. Feel free to like moan and shit." And then he drinks her blood, and she starts moaning. And that's a wrap, everyone. I know you're all excited for this chapter and for the upcoming chapters, and I know you have many questions like, why is Naruto a hybrid? Why is he a pervert? Why does he have so many different powers? And that's just a few questions I bet you have. But I will try and answer them all in the coming chapters. So please remember, this is a side story though. I'll only update this rarely. Bring on the haters. I want to report all of you.
That's not how that works.
The real question the author doesn't address is, why are we reading this?
I mean, we're here reading it. Like, we can't really complain about the fact that we're reading it because we're here, right?
Yes. That is a factual statement.
We could have just stopped reading it.
We could have. This is true.
But a normal human could.
Technically speaking,
Technologically speaking.
technically speaking, you can't report people for having negative things to say about your story. That is an abuse of the report system. However, that being said, your story is certainly the sort of thing that drives my budding alcoholism. Not only is it completely nonsensical,
Make sure you're on the right account.
I am, being a fusion, being a poorly jointed fusion world, but also because it seems like it's just OCs with the purchased store cosmetics for Naruto characters. That story is a violation of censored policies.
Halt! You violated the NAP, NAACP. You violated the NAACP.
I don't think that's how that works.
I think it is.
I just want a mate.
Of course you do.
You're not mating with me.
Listen, Max, when have I ever let facts stand in the way of my opinion? I'm an American, so the answer is never.
Anything else to say here? Let's see. Commented on the characters, commented on the Fusion World status. Your grammar, while not exactly the worst I have ever borne witness to on this website does leave much to be desired. While I understand that English can be hard and that fan fiction is a place people come to learn how to write, maybe you should first pay more attention in class when they teach how to write in English. Hold on, I gotta make sure. What's his country of origin? Does he have list? Oh, it is American. Okay, yep. Okay, so he is an American. Is there anything else that needs to be said? Let's see. Comment on the grammar, commented on the skins of the characters, commented on the disjointed fusion plot. NASDAQ, yes. Nice. Wow. So, wow. Okay. Anything to add, Atin? Max?
Nah.
Sorry, what's wrong?
He's posting an angry rant.
Yes, I was wondering if you wanted to add anything to the story so far.
I want no part of this.
That being said, not helpful. Certainly the sort of thing that drives my budding alcoholism. Not only is completely responsibility, but poorly. Trying to change my purchase, store cosmetic, market characters, grammar. Well, not exactly the worst I've ever seen. Does leave much to be desired. While I understand that English can be hard and fanfiction is a place that people come to learn to write, maybe you should first pay more attention in class when they teach how to write in English.
Jesus.
Alright. What?
So, just side note, I was rolling stats for a D&D character in the background. I've got an 18, an 18, a 15, 17, 11, and 13.
Alright, well, that is that story. Let's just move that right on over to the covered fic section. And let's just move on. Let's see. We got here. What we got here? The Ruby story, Fate's Day Night Worm crossover, X-Men Rama, Ruby Worm.
I'm sorry, X-Men Ranma?
Yeah.
That seems like a phenomenally terrible thing.
Oh, wow, that is actually some really nice fan art for Ranma. That is actually really good. Wow. You know, I've never actually tried and looked for fan art for Ranma. Anyway, Let us read this story. I'm sure it'll be a short one, and then we can all move on with our lives. There we go. X-Men Ranma, yes. Is Ranma the one where two people exist as one person? No. Ranma 1/2 is a story, it's a shonen, it's one of the original shonen, I guess you could even say.
It's pushing the gay agenda.
No, not really. Ranma is one of the original shonen stories. It's a story about a martial artist who falls into the cursed spring of drowned girl, and whenever he is splashed with cold water, he turns into a girl version of himself. That, however, does not affect his mind. Now, there's plenty of fan fictions abound where that is the case, but in canon...
Alright, first of all, let's be real. Call them what they are. Filthy, filthy hentais.
No?
Look, I'm sorry. I just expected that's all the internet would do.
I mean, I'm sure they might, but I mean, I read a large majority of Ranma fanfic, and limes and lemons basically aren't a thing.
Really?
Yes. I think of all the Ranma stories I've encountered. Now, to be fair, the more modern Ranma stories have lots of sex in them. But I'm talking about like the old ones, the good ones. I maybe like one story ever had anything even close to a sex scene in it, and even before the sex started, it was a fade to black. But yeah, do two people exist as one person? Sort of. It's two bodies that are the same person rather than two people, because his personality doesn't change, his attitudes don't change, his sexual preferences don't change. So when he's a girl, he still likes girls. When he's a guy, he likes girls. When, all of his opinions are the same. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the Ranma fanfiction does do the whole exploration of, well, what if it changed him mentally? Because the author in the original canon does make a point to say that he is actually physically weaker as a girl, because the body he is given by the cursed spring follows the logic chain of this would be his body as if he was a girl. So it would be like, yeah, he still works out and all, but he would be inherently weaker because he was a girl. And by the way, before anyone goes hibbity hoppity, that's racist or sexist or shit.
Hippity hoppity, that's racist. That's a new one.
The writer of this story is a woman. The original
something internalized misogyny.
The original author and artist of this story is a woman. So, before we get to the hibbity hoppity. But anyway, so this is a X-Men Ranma crossover called Homo Superiore. Homo Superior.
I mean, I get what they're going for, right? They're gonna go, it's a mutant power. And in fact, there's actually plenty of room to go, it's a mutant power, and then have them go, wait, no it's not. Like, that kind of, I'm trying to think of how to say this, confusion happens all the time in the, X-Men, like, this is a mutant power. No, it's something different.
That's her. Homo Superior.
I would say, then there's even people like Scarlet Witch, who it's like, well, she's psychic. She's the mutant. What's her mutant power? Magic. What?
Yeah. 1. Above or beyond human. That's not. So, the first sin the author makes here is that they try and treat a species as if it was some sort of like definable definition in Webster. So they
Well,
go,
I mean, it depends on what it is, right? Because like Homo neanderthalis is a species, and we know what it was.
yes, that's what I'm saying though. We don't go Homo neanderthalis, something that is below human. Like that's not the definition. There is no definition of Homo neanderthalis. It's a species with defined characteristics, but it does not have a Webster definition.
Gotcha.
But that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to go Homo superior, a above or beyond human, or a definition too, beyond or ordinary or normal human ability.
That's when you bring in, like, honestly, and as much as it pains me to do this for actual science, that's when you go to the realm of 40K.
What's that?
You just go, that's a post-human individual.
Yes. Oh, and Super
Transhuman,
Potatoes.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Super Potatoes. That is actually something they did mention in canon, is that Ranma had specifically created a separate fighting style for when he is female. So, the author's got that covered. She thought ahead. The three mutants that the X-Men finds at Jusendo will either change everything or help maintain the balance. Prequel to Homo Superior
Either change
House of
everything
M.
or nothing much at all will change.
Yeah. So this is a completed story at 33 chapters at roughly 2 books in length. Has 1,450 reviews. 1,531 favorites, 1,311 follows.
Where could I go to read Ranma?
Well, Ranma, as in like the original stuff.
Yeah, I just want to read it.
Just
First
Google
of all, is there a novel, like a light novel form? Because I would
no, actually, Ranma actually came about during the era of manga, and not the whole industry
light novel
that
to manga to anime thing.
Yeah, not the whole industry that it's become now. So Ranma was originally out and completed during the era of where a manga came out, was a manga, and then later, like 10 years down the line, ended up getting an anime adaptation. Like that was the sort of thing that, Inuyasha was in that section,
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I have to say, I love both the anime and the manga come at me. I really enjoyed Inuyasha when I was a kid.
Well, here's the thing. It's not like the Inuyasha manga is, the anime is bad. Not by a long shot.
I definitely think, honestly, I think the voice actors did a pretty good job with it, so...
Most of the time, there wasn't anything where I was just like, boy.
Yeah. I will say there wasn't the occasional moment of cringe, but that's just what you gotta live with. Yeah. So this is a interesting story in that for a Ranma story, it's got a very high favorites and follows. Especially with it being published between 2014 to 2018. The Ranma section has a small but consistent user base at this point, but that doesn't really lend itself to hundreds of favorites or follows for the story. The amount of filler in the anime in Inuyasha was annoying as hell. That's fair, yeah. The Xavier Institute for Higher Learning was the first of its kind. Unlike other places of academia, the Xavier Institute saved SHIELD training facilities, blah blah blah, science, blah blah blah. Potential powerhouses, Charles Xavier, Uncanny X-Men, mutants to save the world.
Say this, unless I had a power that was like invincibility or super speed, I would never go to that school. Do you know why?
He gets attacked
Because
really
think
often.
about all the terrible things, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Scott trips
Yeah.
and breaks his glasses, oh shit, half the school's been lasered.
Yeah. I feel like
Right?
having a mutant power to like either regenerate or respawn would just like be the worst thing ever at that school, because you'd be automatically the shoo-in for, hey John, we need you to go run into this highly radioactive and deadly area because, you know, Billy farted again without his filter in, and now the whole place is just a nuclear war zone.
It's just immensely toxic. I mean, really, it's like a 4chan forum in there, man. Also, I like the idea. Like, here's the real question: of all the X-Men that are teachers, which of them would absolutely know what 4chan is and be like, "You shouldn't be going there during class, man. Come on."
Nightcrawler, obviously.
Really, you're gonna put Kurt?
Yes.
Interesting. Your thoughts, Max?
Are you saying that he isn't an absolute 4chan shit poster?
No, I'm saying I can see it. I could definitely see it.
It was supposed to be a shit poster.
I asked Sneaky which of the professors at Xavier's School for the Gifted is absolutely on 4chan shitposting 24/7.
Okay.
He decided that it was Nightcrawler.
That's actually a pretty good possibility.
All I'm saying is that other people, I wouldn't be surprised to see shit posting on 4chan. Mystique.
Okay, no, let's be clear. Mystique would be like on Gone Wild doing whatever she please. She'd have like 17 accounts.
Maybe Xavier and Magneto. Maybe they'd be more Reddit buddies, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they'd have like a private shitposting war on Reddit or something.
I'm pretty sure Logan would be on 4chan, if only because he doesn't like this newfangled Reddit thing. And
So I can see that.
He remembers the days of image board posting, and that's what he's sticking with.
I can see that. Colossus would be the guy moderating like the school kick or something.
Oh god. Batman would be another one. I know, not related, but
Like say, not Xavier School for the Gifted. And honestly, I don't think he would be participating in any social media sites. I think he would just be trolling. Like
not like
trolling
on. But I think no. What I think Batman would do with any form of social media he would obviously have the Donald Trump social media of like he'll go on Twitter and just like say shit, right?
Well, Bruce Wayne will just say shit.
Yes, Bruce Wayne would. But he'll also have like a 4chan or Reddit account that constantly is quote obsessed with Batman and proving that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and just goes fucking off the wall with some crazy bullshit
just says
theories.
The dumbest stuff.
And absolutely just blows literally Batman and Bruce Wayne both seen scratching their chin once. Clearly they're the same person.
No, here's the thing, right? You can work that into established lore and make it even better by saying that oh god damn it, I know his name. The doctor who figured out who Batman was got Bruce Wayne committed and then pretended to be Batman for a couple months.
Oh Christ.
Strange?
I think it was
Hugo Strange?
No, Hugo Strange was Scarecrow. Wasn't he?
No, that was Dr. Jonathan.
Fuck, right. It might have been Hugo Strange.
I think it was Strange.
I know what you're talking about. It's just I don't.
It's a great comic series, legitimately great.
Speaking of replacing hero comic series that were great, Spider-Man Ultimate was pretty good.
You mean Superior?
Well, yeah, whatever that one was, where Octavius takes over.
Well, for me, one of my favorite things was just the end where Octavius is like, in order to save the people I love, I have to let Spider-Man take back control. And Spider-Man's like, maybe you are a hero, Doc. It's like, no, he's still a shitbag. He just happens to really
He's
like.
an absolute shitbag who just happens to realize common sense.
Also, really, really big fan of dwarfs.
So anyway, this stupid story that's probably gonna make Atin, buy a gun.
Here's the thing, right? I don't care too much about it as long as they don't screw up Kitty.
Jean Grey, blah blah blah, danger room increasing, professor.
Danger room increasing.
I'm not gonna gainsay Mr. Summers. He's getting lax. Regime Professor. Cerebro just detected a power spike, a mega level mutants. Everyone was like, "Oh fuck!" By the way, Santa's an omega level mutant in
That is canon.
Was that is that's DC? No, it's not DC, is it? No, it's not. That's Marvel. X-Men's Marvel.
It's 100% canon. They're just like,
Yeah.
how does Santa do everything? He is a mutant who could stop pretty much anyone he pleases, but instead wants to give presents to children.
And honestly, I actually kind of like the DC version of Santa even more, who sneaks into the Apocalypse Castle Fortress thing every single year to give Deadseed a lump of coal. Darkseid, yeah, there we go.
Yes.
A lump of coal.
That's probably one of my favorite. That's on the level of Thanos. Every year, once a year, fucking some dude over on his birthday. Have you seen that comic?
No, I have not seen or even heard of that one though.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Never
God,
heard of that.
dude, it's been shown on the internet so many times. It's literally he just birthday comes, he does something horrible to this kid. Like, this is a kid who could have been great, but by the time he's 25, has a massive beer belly, all that, like, because he's just given up on life. Because
Thanos
just shows up and ruins everything on his birthday. Like, he's dating a girl, he gets, like, his worst secret gets exposed. Gets a car for his birthday, Thanos just straight up smashes that car.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then just before Thanos literally kills this kid, he's like, why? Just tell me why. And Thanos is just like, oh, because I'm fucking with you, and no one would ever believe it.
No one would ever believe Thanos showed up on your birthday just to break your car. I mean,
no, just to fuck with you for 17 years straight or whatever, right?
No, that's fair enough.
And he's like,
yeah.
And the guy's even like, I tried to tell the Avengers, and they're like, yeah, whatever, crazy.
Thanos shows up on my birthday every year to like take my girlfriend and blow up my car. Yeah, that's fair enough. That is on the similar vein of a fan fiction story I remember reading. I absolutely am blanking on the name and will probably never find it again. Zeeks might find it. It's a story where Loki runs a bar about 2 blocks away from the Avengers Tower. And just no one believes it's Loki. Because it's like, there's no fucking way Loki runs a bar 2 blocks away from the Avengers Tower.
That's amazing, and I want to read that.
It was great.
I'm sorry, that's a comic?
No, it's a fan fiction story.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, in the Marvelverse, Thor would just be like, oh god damn it, he did not. Actually, no, Thor would believe that. Actually.
And just like all the drinks are absolutely on
yes,
the
here we go.
nose.
Sneaky. I'm going to link it in memes and shit posts where it belongs, so
Like-
you can read this later.
All the memes are all the memes. All the drinks are like completely on the nose. Like the like this really nasty one he serves, he calls Thor's breath and shit like that. It's just like, oh my god. Oh god, that's hilarious. All right, yeah, I'll cue that up and we'll yeah, we'll after this I'll read it. All right, so anyway, let's wrap this chapter up and I'll go home.
Yeah.
So everyone's panicking about the omega levels and blah blah blah. Mutant, where is he located? And he's in China. We need to assemble a team. And then hours later, they assembled the team and they went to China. And Ranma collapsed on his back. He did it. He killed Saffron. The fight itself was without doubt the deadliest battle he had ever done. Yet despite it all, what occupied his mind now was the transformation his fiancée and his rival appeared to have displayed during said battle. Was it magic from Jusenko, he wondered. Why would Ryoga's skin turn completely into stone, solid enough to withstand Saffron's piercing heat? Then there was the doll-like Atin that had been in his shirt. When he channeled his cold ki, he felt the doll doing the same. And when Saffron's flames touched her, he was almost certain the doll-like Atin had manipulated the flames somehow in his immediate vicinity to create openings for him. None of that mattered as far as... Okay, honestly, you know what? I will give the author credit here. This is a very rare occurrence. I'll give the author credit, and he's actually doing a decent take on fusion between Ranma and X-Men here. We'll see how he fucks it up in the future. We still have a whole half chapter to go, but at least he is already subtly hinting at the mutant powers that each of these people have.
Which, you know what? That's actually great. Also, I will say that probably some of the best stuff I've ever seen was absolutely just like one-offs in like the X-Men universe, right?
Yes.
Like there's
Yeah.
the dude who's always forgotten.
Mhm.
Like his mutant power is people don't remember him. It's a great story. It's like, what's your mutant power? Background character.
I distinctly remember one comic about someone who was always protecting the or trying to protect the Xavier Institute, and like no one would ever remember him or anything
That's the
he did.
same guy.
Okay, that is the same guy. Okay, I didn't know if it was the same guy or not, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, it is.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. None of that mattered as far as Ronald was concerned. That was part of the course.
Oh, don't forget, there's the poor dude who his mutant power is literally turning people within X radius into him into just ash.
Yes. That guy.
And it's like, and they send Logan to kill him because
Doesn't
it's like,
Deadpool save him or something?
Nope. Logan kills the guy.
Oh, who was I thinking of that Logan was gonna kill and then Deadpool saves?
I believe you're thinking of oh god damn it. Not what was his fucking name? Fuck me. Super Mutant Man. Apocalypse. You're thinking of Apocalypse's kid.
Yes. Yes. Also, Deadpool and Logan have some really deep and dark scenes in the comics. Jesus Christ.
Well, of course they do.
No, I mean like together, like some of the shit that happens in their crossover comics. It's just like Jesus.
Oh
Christ.
yeah, no, I know. I'm saying of course they do because they're from the same super messed up project, and they are both whack jobs.
Oh, like the
Logan's just a lot better at hiding it.
I think the one that comes to me the clearest is the one I think it was Deadpool that was searching through the pile of bodies, crying, looking for his wife. I think it was, while like Logan's like watching over him doing this, and he's just like remembering doing the same thing basically, decades ago.
Yep.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ, guys.
You just immediately cut to the picture of Marge. Jesus Christ, kids, lighten up!
Yeah. Lighten up back there. Juseno is complete wreck. The water that revived Atin was warm from the saturated heat, and Atin herself was blinking at her hand in confusion. Unlike Ryoga, also staring at his hands in confusion and fascination. Ranma smirked a bit at that. He always knew Ryoga had rocks for brain, and now it was a proven fact. 10 out of 10. See, this is why I really like the Ranma section, because the real Ranma fans are exactly as the sort of shit I've been saying for so long, in that they're actually fans, and that they really like Ranma, and so they're actually, when they sit down and try and write Ranma, they're really good at it, because they really like Ranma. And so they can sit there and they can capture it. I mean, yes, there is a certain level of skill involved in there, but it's also because they just really like Ranma, and so they know Ranma, the series, and so they're able to make the same sort of jokes and humor that Ranma does without it sounding forced. And yes, Andros, it is Ranma X-Men crossover.
That's all it is? Just Ranma X-Men crossover?
That's all it is. No harems. No OP. I mean, yeah, he is OP, but no OP. He sensed something different in the wind. Looking up, he saw an odd disturbance in the air, something like a poor cloaked version of Umi Senken. Train faces, blah blah blah. Ryoga noticed Pig Boy also looking up, and pressure against his mind. He didn't know better. It was almost as if someone was trying to read his thoughts, which he knew was impossible. It's the only time he ever encountered something like that. There made no sensation to warm him. Presence and pressure was there. Sheer force of will. He concentrated and angrily tried to rebuff the invasive presence. He felt genuine shock and surprise radiate from the invader before the thing removed himself from his mind. Akin, Ryoga, watch out. Something's trying to invade our minds. Ranma warned in real alarm, having realized that the presence might try to attack his friends next. Akin, who had appeared...
Just a side note, I think probably my favorite version of how do you stop people from reading your minds was Knights of the Old Republic 2, which was I make them play Pazak in my head.
Yes, except I always have a winning hand.
That'd be the equivalent of I make them play Magic the Gathering against me, but I'm playing a blue time deck, and I have a perfect draw.
It's time to duel! What the fuck's going on? Alright, it's my turn. Alright, it's my turn. Alright, it's my turn. Okay, this seriously
When is
can't...
it my turn?
Wait, this...
Never.
This can't be the rules? No, it is completely within the rules.
I
hate
I'll
blue
even let you
decks!
read my mind enough to see that I'm not lying. Who made this game?
This is stupid. Akin, who had appeared slightly dazed from the Saffron battle, heard Ranma's warning and looked around in alarm. It was then another presence made itself known. This one felt softer and more feminine. Also, I want to say that if we ever have a what was that movie with the dreams inside dreams thing?
Inception.
Inception, yeah. Where they have that special like backup where they take a top and they spin it because they've convinced themselves that tops will never stop spinning. So
whatever it is,
when they're deep inside the dream, if they spin the top, then it won't stop spinning because that's how they think tops work. So that's how they can tell if they're in a dream or not, because they have this whole like double thought thing going on. What I would do is I wouldn't be able to do that. What I would do is I would have a magic deck and I would pull the first 7 cards out. If I didn't get 7 fucking mana, then clearly I'm in a dream.
See, for me, it would be if I didn't get 7 1-drops.
Oh my god, I get fucking mana fucked so often.
That's because you put... That, sir, is because you put too much mana in your deck and you have terrible deck building.
I will, yes, I will fully admit my deck building is absolute garbage. Anyway, so they heard Ranma and they're getting ready. Forgive our intrusion. Professor just wanted to see what happened. We are landing now. They all looked at each other wide-eyed and they're like, what the fuck? Which, admittedly, is a completely understandable reaction to something's trying to invade my brain, and then it leaves, and then someone else goes, hey, sorry about that. We're coming down now. We don't want to see what was going on. What the fuck is going on?
I'm sorry about poking around in your noggin. I didn't know you'd feel it. Give me a minute. I'll come down and explain everything. I promise. No,
potatoes. I know Colorless laughs at mana issues, but you don't understand. When I play Magic the Gathering, I will either get only mana.
I have played him. Despite his terrible deck construction, he really does get it. Like, he either has all mana or no mana.
Yeah, I either have like 2 mana for the entire game, or I have like 40 mana by the end. And it's like, I have literally only pulled mana for the past 20 turns.
And for the record, he usually plays decks with plenty of draw. Like, it's not like he's relying on top decks here either.
Yeah, it's just...
Usually. Sometimes he is, but not usually.
I just have the worst fucking luck. But, anyway. What was that? Just what needed, another ghost haunting him. Akane, however, was more concerned that the female ghost might yet be another one of Ranma's fiancés. Somehow.
I like that.
I'll give him that. It was something that could happen, she stubbornly believed, though given the chaos surrounding them, this was actually one of her less crazy conclusions. Yeah. I'll give you that. It was then the air kicked up around them and a heavy thud sound could be heard. Ranma saw a deep indent in the ground. Something heavy landed there. A moment later, a black plane revealed itself. Its side opened, and a bunch of X-Men walked out. My name is Charles Xavier. I apologize for probing your minds earlier. Ranma waved it off, and Ryoga and Akane bowed back in kind. I see, so what brings you out here? Ranma asked. The bald man looked at Akane and Ryoga and seemed to be communicating mentally with them if Ranma were to guess. A moment later, his guess appeared to be dead on the mark as they appeared to recoil in horror. What do you mean, I'm a mutant? What? That can't be. I'm a martial artist. Ranma saw the bald, crippled man look sad at their reactions. He had heard of mutants on his travels, people born with special abilities. He was passing by the Americas. Their hatred of mutants appeared to be strong. He didn't really care. What if he was a mutant too? Would his mother hold it against him? Please, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Blah, blah, blah. Redhead woman continued on. I remember being able to hear thoughts of everyone near me, hundreds of voices. They looked less belligerent and appeared interested in the story. You should come to Xavier's School for Higher Learning. You can also attend... Wait, you two? Why not 3? We're all mutants here, right? Ranma could see the bald man winced a bit at what Akane said. Miss Tendo, I apologize, but I did gather your name when I brushed up against your mind. Mutant is a derogatory term for our kind. We are Homo superior. Honestly, I wouldn't... that's a very, I know that is a canon name for them, right? Atin?
What?
Homo superior. That's how you refer to mutants.
That's something that what's his face's mutant brotherhood
Oh,
Magneto's mutant
Magneto,
brotherhood
yeah.
specifically uses, which is why and Xavier doesn't like it for a multitude of reasons.
Okay,
Not the
so
least of which is, guys, I'm not trying to encourage another fucking genocide.
yeah, no more race wars, guys, please.
Can
No,
we please not have a race war for 5 minutes?
That's what I thought, which is why I was a bit confused as to why Xavier's like, please don't call people mutants. We're actually Homo superior. Which I was gonna say is a bit weird for Xavier to be saying, but
I would say Xavier really just goes, just people. We're people.
We are simply the next step in human evolution. I'm pretty sure Xavier does not believe that.
No, Xavier doesn't think
that's a
stuff.
Magneto opinion. Now this is a prequel to Other M, though. House of M. Not Other M. That'd be weird.
Okay, so here's the thing. He kind of thought that, like, he thinks mutant powers do make people superior, but not in a clearly we are the ultimate step of humanity, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right. Akane blushed at this reprimand, but nodded. Of course, that is not to say we don't use the term ourselves, but yeah, that's right. Only mutants can use the M word. Non-muties get out. What's up, my mutants? Mr. Satome is not a mutant. Ranma thought for sure he was going to be told he was a mutant of bad luck or something, if he had to guess. But to find out he wasn't one was quite surprising. I mean,
okay, hold on
to
a minute.
be fair,
why are they just suddenly cool with mutants?
Did I
miss an important bit of context, or are they just like, yeah, mutants, whatever?
I believe the context is that Ranma traveled a shit ton, so he's kind of more open-minded since he literally went from school to school learning everything that they had learned and incorporating it into his style. So
okay, so they're just saying the Ranma universe is is the X-Men universe. Obviously, they know what mutants are.
Yes.
Because they're just a thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing that I liked about Ranma a lot was that because it took place in a single prefecture in Tokyo, more or less. Also some remote mountain in China as well. So again, very out of the way of pretty much every series ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to do fusion worlds with Ranma because again, Ranma is literally just, yeah, we're just martial artists. Also, we can use some, magic-like techniques by just being really good at martial arts.
Hey, Max, how many Ranma G Gundam crosses are there?
I don't fucking know.
I don't see Ranma fusing with Gundam too well.
G Gundam. Specifically G Gundam.
Why?
The martial arts one.
Oh. Oh.
I'm sure that it's probably at least one.
There's probably at least one.
I just assumed you would know about it.
Apparently there's two.
Are any of them good? How many of them are shite?
How the fuck would I know?
Max, your job is to read them all.
The last time these were even touched was 2010.
Oh. Oh, big rip. Big rip.
Can we get you to read those for the show?
No, you can't.
Anyway, so blah 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 blah. We'll have to talk with your parents. Learning to control your powers is very good. There's more of us out There's more of you, them, us out there. She faltered a bit as she struggled to reconcile the fact that she was supposedly a mutant. So what brought us here? Another mutant here, an Omega level mutant we detected here. Omega level mutant? Yes, mutants are classified by levels of power. You and Mr. Hibiki are alpha types, but Omega mutants are very, very strong and can abuse their powers to destroy lots of shit. We guessed the Omega level mutant was a fire user. Professor San, if you were looking for the person who caused all the destruction, it was a being named Saffron. We thought he was merely magical. We didn't think he was a mutant. Magic, the professor asked. You don't believe in magic, do you? We've encountered magic before. One of our students has a magic mutation.
I was gonna say, they really should believe in magic. Okay, first of all, if nothing else, Xavier knows who Strange is. Like, to have Xavier go magic ain't real,
He didn't.
unbelievably stupid.
No, he didn't, though.
I know. Just saying, like...
Yeah. So anyway, they point out the egg, and they're like, holy shit, this egg is an Omega mutant. He's both young and old at the same time. What the fuck is he? The eggshell cracked, revealing a humanoid figure. The humanoid figure appeared to be like Angel, however, unlike Angel, he had claws. He was totally adorable, and she suppressed a cute coo as the rest of the egg gave way. And so then the baby imprinted on her and called her mama. And it looks like he's imprinted on you, Miss Gray. Congratulations, it's a boy. And Ranma started laughing. That's fair, yeah. Professor, you said Omega mutants are powerful.
Yeah, pretty much that's about how it go. Like,
you said Omega...
Or are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. You said Omega level mutants are powerful. Saffron did all around us, so that's the power of Omega mutant. That is correct. Are you sure Ranma's not a mutant? No. Mr. Satome does not have an X gene. He is an average human. If that's the case, then how did Ranma defeat Saffron? And everyone looked at him like, what? To be fair, that is a
legitimate question.
legitimate. Oh, are you sure he's not a mutant? Yes, we are 100% sure he's not a mutant, probably.
How do you kick the Omega's ass then?
Then how did he beat that Omega's ass? That is a good question.
Alright, anyway, I'm out of this shithole.
Yep, yeah, that's all for tonight, my lads. So, honestly, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. A little bit of a weird homo superior issue there. But not as bad as it could be, so I guess I will pick up the next chapter and see how it goes. But
you know what? Yeah, we'll bring this back for Tuesday.
Anyway, I appreciate everyone that has showed up and stayed to this point and listened to our rambles and listened to our corrections and listened to our suggestions and etc., etc., etc.
We pity you, truly.
Truly, indeed. But I do heartily encourage everyone here to spread the word and tell your friends and possibly any family that you are okay with losing about this podcast. Because the more people we have, the more fun it gets, and the less we have to talk about the actual fanfiction. But we will see you next time, because there will always be more, and it will always get worse.